Thinking about your intention for your practice this morning, just your reason for being here, what you hope to accomplish, what you need today. Maybe it's just a little bit of quiet time. Maybe it's a little peace of mind. Maybe it's a little release physically within those muscles. Maybe it's a little bit of physical or mental release. Or maybe your intention is just here to create a little bit more happiness in your life. Could be a lot of things, or maybe not even sure why you're here. That's fine too. Just as we practice, if you do have an intention, just keeping that close. And the next time you take a nice deep breath and you inhale, lifting up through the top of the head. As you exhale, slowly lower that chin to your chest. And then gently just start rocking that head out. Half neck circles, right ear, right shoulder, left ear, left shoulder. Just rocking that head out side to side, right and left. A little gentle stretch for that neck. And then when you're ready, we're going to take that right ear over to that right shoulder. We're just going to hold it here. I'm just going to take that left shoulder and just push it and press it down the way. Create a little bit of space to the side of the neck. And then just tilting that chin down a little bit towards that right shoulder. So just changing where that chin is and changing the stretch through the neck and the shoulder. Just continue to breathe. And then from here, releasing that shoulder, bringing that chin back up. And then a couple more times, just rock that head out side to side, right, left, right. Always taking a half neck circle, keeping the safety of that neck in mind. We're ready to take that left ear over to that left shoulder and press that right shoulder down and away. Again, create as much space as you can just by pushing that shoulder down and away. With those full neck circles, it puts a lot of pressure, a lot of strain on the vertebrae in that neck. Really, not a lot to be gained by taking a full neck circle. So I always definitely recommend doing those half neck circles. You can actually create a little bit more harm and damage to that neck by going that full circle. And again, tilting that chin down towards that left shoulder. Again, just changing where that head is aimed and changing the stretch as it goes a little bit further back through the neck. And all the while, continue to breathe. Inhale, exhale. And then from here, once again, just bringing that chin back to that normal place. And then again, a couple more times, just rock that head out side to side. And then we're going to bring that chin down towards your chest, head forward, chin forward. Just creating a stretch through the back of the neck. And then as we inhale, lifting that chin up off that chest. If you haven't opened up those eyes yet, open the eyes. Good morning. Inhale those arms up and exhale and fold forward. Seated forward fold. You can hear that my kitty cat has been meowing at the door. Kitty has been let in. So there we go. Say hi to Tiger. It's funny. These animals, they always know when we're doing something and they're like, we want to join in. All right. And then he's like, okay. But that's the difference between the dogs and the cats. The cats come in for 1 second, and now he's on the bed and he's like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap. The dogs, not so much. Nice deep breath, inhale, head up, chest up. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves all the way up, and let's go ahead and extend those legs out. All the way, extending through those hips, through those hamstrings. Inhale up and exhale, and again, folding forward. Seated forward fold, head, chest, and body coming as far forward as you can go, just sinking in, sinking over. Sorry, I thought he was going to sleep. Okay, a couple more nice deep breaths right here. Okie dokie. All right, kitty cat, sorry, move. Got my computer, thank you. Okay, sorry. All right, nice deep breath. Inhale, head up, chest up, and all the way up we come together. All right, let's come onto our hands and our knees for a couple cat cows. That's what he was waiting for, cat. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath those hips. I want you to round that back and bring that chin in towards your chest. As you do, draw those shoulder blades apart. Pull them apart as best as you can. Tuck that chin in to the chest. And go ahead and just round that spine. Just take it to where it's comfortable for you. And just stay here and take a couple breaths. And then reverse that curl, tailbone lifts up behind us, gaze comes forward. And just take your gaze anywhere it's comfortable for your head and your neck. Keeping that belly still nice and tight as you pull those abdominals still in towards that spine. And then inhale, exhale, round reverse. At your own pace, your cat, your cow. Give it a stretch. Back, that is. Just stretching that back, rounding and reversing. One more time each way. And then we're going to make our way to a neutral spine. Then we're going to bring the feet together. We're going to slide back onto our heels and sit back into child's pose. We're extending those arms in front, sitting back onto those heels. And then keeping that right hand exactly where it is, just take the left arm over on top of that. And as you take the left arm over, taking a little bit of a stretch through the left side of the body. And just taking the left hand, resting it on top of the right, keeping the right arm nice and long, and the left arm still nice and long. And then from here, take that left arm back out in front, and then take the right arm, put it over on top of the left. And yeah, the head might come up a little bit, it's fine, just go wherever again, taking the stretch down the right side of the body. And then just taking both arms back out in front, back in your normal child pose. Just take one more nice deep breath right here. And then from here, you'll lift that head up, curl our toes, and make our way into our downward facing dog. So coming into a down dog, pushing that body weight back into that heels, pressing that chest away from the arms. Just take a couple breaths in your down dog here. If it feels good, you can bicycle those legs, shift the weight from one side to the other. And then when you're ready, equal weight pushing back into both heels, pushing that chest away from those arms. And then let's look to the hands and walk the feet to the hands to a standing forward fold. So head, chest, and body coming towards those legs. And now we lengthen those hamstrings, lengthen that back, and bring it all together. Also here too, if it feels good, you can shift that weight. Bend one knee, straighten the other. And then when you're ready, just bring it to a little quiet, still place, lengthen, lift. Holding here. And then let's inhale to a flat back. So taking that gaze out over those feet, taking the crown of the head, pulling it forward, pushing the hamstrings back. Just lengthening that spine, just coming up halfway with that head, a little bit of blood flow back to that head. And then exhale, release back to that forward fold. Inhale, arms out to the side, head up, chest leads with the next flat back. Up, up, up we go, all the way up standing. And then bringing the hands around and down to our heart center. And then from here, just taking both feet planted firmly on the ground right here. Just go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Inhale, bring the arms up. And then take the hands together and just take it over to the right. Give that side of the body another stretch. A little oblique stretch. And then bring it through center and over to the other side. And then from here, bringing it back to center, bringing those hands down. And then from here, we're going to take the hands and clasp the hands behind you. I'm going to turn around so you guys can see where we're going. So just clasping the hands behind you. All right, and then we're going to take the chin to the chest. We're going to roll the right ear to the right shoulder. And then we're going to take those hands over to the right hip, not left, to the right side, right ear, right shoulder. We're going to take the hands over to the right hip. And as we're taking those hands over, just trying to take a little bit more of a stretch to the side of the neck. Just pulling those hands over. If you really want a good stretch, you can really take that arm, pull it over, not only stretching that neck, but also stretching that shoulder. Right to the right, And the hands over at the right hip. And then just release those hands down. If you want, a couple times, rock that head out side to side. And you're ready, left ear over to the left shoulder. Left ear, left shoulder. And taking those hands over. Hips. Just create that stretch through the right shoulder, a little bit more. Over at the left hip. And just relaxing those hands, and then you can release a couple times, just rocking the head out, side to side. And then bringing that chin down towards your chest, and you can just inhale up. Keep the hands behind you, keep the hands clasped. We're just gonna inhale, lift up, and as you exhale, we're gonna fold forward. As we fold forward, keeping those hands clasped together, letting those hands come up behind you, wherever they would go, up behind your body, over your head. If you've got really good shoulder flexibility, through those shoulders, stretch, holding it here. Now we've got nice long hamstrings again, but also we're encouraging the shoulders to stretch a little bit as they're up. Give it a nice long big stretch. And then releasing those arms down, then you can circle those arms one direction and then the other. Always keeping that head relaxed. You can always shake it out, do some nipples and some nose. And then when you're ready, just let those arms hang there, kind of hang in ragdoll. If you want, you can grab opposite elbows. Just letting that upper body relax now. And then from here, go ahead and release those hands down. Placing those hands down on the ground, walk or jump into a plank. Make sure you get some room coming into a nice strong plank. Let's find our plank right here with that belly pulled in tight. Now remember, you can always modify your plank by going to your knees when needed. But if you can, just come try and find your plank right here for a moment, looking out somewhere just in front of those hands, keeping that head nice in nice neutral line with the rest of that spine. And then from here, we're going to slowly lower ourselves down as we chaturanga. We're slowly lower down, elbows go to the back, and lifting up to our up dog. Lifting up through the front of the body, tops of the thighs and the feet, and then to your down dog. Curl your toes, lift your hips, and push back into that down dog. Now keep in mind, as we will do that several times, there's ways to modify. You can do a knee plank in chaturanga. You can always sit back in a child's pose if your down dog's not working for you and isn't as restful. So just come wherever works for you. Take a couple breaths, inhale, exhale. And then lift that right leg up behind you, nice and high, to your down dog splits. We're going to bend that knee, we're going to swing it forward and try and get it all the way between the hands. If you didn't get between the hands, you can just go ahead and pick it up. And you can go ahead and move that. And then from here, we're going to come up to a high lunge. We're just going to peel ourselves off that leg, come up into a high lunge. Now, if you need to modify, if you're not stable in a high lunge, you can always come to a low lunge, come to your knee. Also, if you were doing anything on your knees and you want to grab a pillow you have handy or a towel, feel free. But if we're here, just holding. Continue to breathe, lift, lengthen through that spine. And then from here, take the hands back behind you. Again, clasp those hands, and now we're going to fold over that leg and just take the arms up behind us. So now too, if you're really unstable, you can always come down onto that knee and just bring that body weight forward, fold over that leg. Stay here, take those arms up, stretch the shoulders, stretch the chest, and fold. One more nice deep breath. And then release those arms, peel yourself back up, lift yourself, coming back up into our high lunge just for a moment. Because next we're going to drop onto the inside of the back foot, open our hips, open up the arms, and bend into that front knee into our warrior two. So all we've done is put that back leg on the floor, back foot on the floor, and the back foot, that left toe is pointed forward, right toe is pointed right straight forward in front of you and to the side. But with that left foot, if you have any knee issues or any feeling a lot of knee pressure, if you pick up that left heel and just aim it a little bit down towards the right corner, it'll help alleviate some pressure on that knee. But squeezing between those shoulder blades, holding it here, looking out over those right fingertips. Unless you have neck issues, I encourage you to look anywhere it's comfortable for you. And just breathe. And then from here, we're going to bring that right elbow above that right knee and just take that left arm up before we go to that side angle. Just take it here, take it up nice and high, right above that shoulder. And then we're going to take that left arm and reach over the left ear, and reaching in front, and that right arm can stay above that knee on that thigh. If you want to release it to the inside of that leg, entirely up to you. But wherever that right arm goes, make sure you're not compromising that left arm. You don't want that arm in front of the face. You want that arm open, spinning that chest open and over that ear. So just holding it here, wherever we are. And then from here, I want you to take that left arm behind the back. So I want you to bend the elbow, take it behind your back. Now, if you have really good shoulder flexibility, you can take that right arm through and underneath and bind those hands together. If not, just leave that left arm, that right arm wherever, and just take the left arm bent behind the back. But if you do have, again, that flexibility, that right arm would go underneath, it would meet up with those fingers. But have that good shoulder flexibility. And if you are coming into that bind, don't compromise the rest of the body to get there and have that left shoulder coming forward. You want to keep that left shoulder open. And it's only, again, if you've got that flexibility. If not, just try and take that hand behind you, reach it down your back. This would be a place where if you didn't have flexibility and you have a towel or a tie you wanted to hold on to, you could grab that and then try and get your bind. Walk yourself in on that. So just really depends what works for you. But wherever you are, take one more nice deep breath. And then from here, we're going to release that arm, release both arms, lay it down. We're going to take that right toe forward with us into a wide-legged forward fold. So now we've come into a nice wide forward fold. All we've done is just taken the toes so they're both pointing in the same direction and taken that body so it's down in between those legs. And then from here, we're going to walk those hands out to a plank. So we're going to walk out into a nice wide plank. So bringing yourself out to where those hands are underneath those shoulders. Now we're on the toes. And then from here, we're going to push our hips back into a wide-legged down dog. So now we're in a nice wide-legged down dog, both heels on the floor. Can't get your heels on the floor in your regular down dog. You can feel how fantastic it feels to have both heels on the ground. Just push yourself back and hold. And then from here, once again, come forward to that plank. Pull that belly in nice and tight. Just come and hold. And then push back to that wide-legged down dog. And then from here, walk those hands back. So now they're underneath that body. So now back to that wide-legged forward fold. And then let's inhale to a flat back. Again, just looking out over those fingers, those hands. And all the way on this wide-legged fold, pulling those inner thighs up. Nice long leg, stretching the inner thighs. And then from here, we're just going to pivot back to the left. Take our, actually, which way should we go? To the right. Wrong way. Right. And take that right leg up behind you in your down dog splits. And then from here, bring that right knee to the right elbow. So coming to a plank, right knee, right elbow, extend up. And then back to the right knee, right elbow. Open up, and then right knee comes underneath the body. And just hold your plank and extend. You can also do this from your knees if you need to, and then extend back up. So again, you can always do this from a knee and come back. Now we're going opposite elbow, cross. And then 2 times has been our charm. Let's come to a one-legged plank and hold just for a moment. And then from here, slowly, chaturanga, lower yourself down, release that leg to your up dog. When you're ready, curl your toes, lift your hips to your down dog. So coming into your down dog, take a couple deep breaths right here. Inhale, exhale, relax. Again, if you need to, you can always go to a child's pose. If this is not being a restful place for you and you're not feeling it today, feel free. Do what works. And then when you're ready, lifting that left leg up behind you, nice and high. And then swing it forward, trying to get it in between your hands. And again, if it didn't get between your hands, just move it forward. Because then we're gonna bring ourselves up into that high lunge. We're gonna lift ourselves up. All right, and taking a look, I don't think if I mentioned this on the other side, but look for those little toes. If you can still see your toes without good looking for them, your knee's probably placed in the right place with that knee over the ankle or a little behind. It's always fine. What you don't want is to have those legs so close together that as you bend into that knee, you push that knee out over that ankle. So just find those toes in that place. And find yourself some balance. If you need more balance, come down onto that knee. And then from here again, take the hands behind you, clasp the hands, and fold over that leg. So again, find your balance. And again, if your balance isn't working well today, go to that knee. No shame in that. Do what works for you and your body. If you can, just folding, taking the arms wherever they'll go to stretch. And then from here, releasing those arms, releasing ourselves, coming up once again into that high lunge. Just a couple breaths right here. And then drop onto the inside of the back foot, open the arms, open the hips, and bend into that front knee. So coming into our warrior two here. Again, same thing applies here. Look for your toes, make sure you can still see them. A good thing if you're not as stable on your feet, you keep the legs closer together, and all you do is you don't bend the knee as much, just to keep that safe placement of that knee. Further apart we are, a little less stable we are. Just find that place. You feel strong, you feel stable. One place you can just hold and breathe. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Try and have the left arm out in front of the left shoulder and the right arm behind the shoulder. I'm trying to have those arms in a nice long line. All right, great job, you guys. And then we'll make our way into that side angle. And again, we're just gonna first pause before we go to the side with that right arm up above that right shoulder. Just pausing here for a moment. And then taking that right arm over. Keeping it over that ear, reaching long to the front. And again, the left arm, wherever you want to go with it. We're not changing the lower body positioning, but if you are extending that left arm down to the ground, make sure that chest and that arm aren't coming with you, that you're able to keep it open, spin it open. Couple breaths. And then from here, again, bringing that right arm up, bend at the elbow, drape that arm behind your back, open up that shoulder. And again, if you've got to, you can get to that bind, take that left hand through to find those fingertips and take the hand together behind you. I'm showing you that because I can't get there, but it's whatever works. But we're still taking that shoulder back and trying to get to that place eventually. And then wherever you come with those arms, release, unwind, and again, take that left toe forward and come into that wide-legged forward fold. Coming into that wide-legged forward fold, this time we'll just stay here. And if you've turned and you're not facing me anymore, that's fine. Just if you can, try and let you trust yourself that you know what we're doing, because all we're doing is staying in a wide-legged forward fold. I'm just going to take each hand, right hand to the right leg, left hand to the left leg or the left foot. Just take your hands out and just pull yourself in a little bit further. So all we're doing is just staying here. So maybe you don't need to turn around, face me. Just coming into a nice wide-legged forward fold. Hands grabbing the legs, pulling up on those inner thighs, getting some length and some stretch. and breathing. And then from here, releasing those hands from those legs, bring them underneath the body and inhale to a flat back. So we're just taking a gaze forward, nice flat back. Still those 8 legs are nice and engaged. You're pulling up through those inner thighs, just looking out some more in front of those hands. Bring a little bit of blood flow back to that heart, back to that head. And now we're going to pivot and go ahead and turn back to the left. We're going to send that left leg back behind us, back into our down dog splits. And then as we did before, left knee, left elbow, rest wrist into that plank. And then extend up. Once again, same side. Coming up. And then coming across first, and then back up. Bring that left knee to the right wrist, right elbow, and back 2 times, and then underneath that body. 1, 2. And then extend back, angle forward to a 3-legged plank. Come and hold. And then from here, slowly, chaturanga, release that leg to your up dog. And then when you're ready, curl your toes, lift your hips, and come to your downward facing dog. So coming into that down dog, pushing that body weight back into those heels, just away from the arms. Come here, take a couple breaths, breathe and hold. And then look towards those hands, walk or jump, feet to the hands, to a standing forward fold. Adjust your body, coming towards those legs. Lengthen it all. If you want, grab a hold of those legs, pull yourself in. But if you're good, just holding it here, just hold, whatever works. And then from your inhale to a flat back, looking out over those feet. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms out to the side, head up, chest leads, flat, flat back. Up we come, all the way to standing. And bring the hands round to the heart center. All right, so just one balancing posture for today as we make our way into tree pose, standing on that left leg and that right foot anywhere except for where that knee bends. Now, if you're challenged with balance, easiest thing to do is get close to something to hold on to, but if not, if you want to make a stand for your tree, you can take the toe out to the side, you can take the toe in, you can lift as you can, but anywhere you'd like to place that foot, except for that knee joint. If you want to pull it up above the knee joint, feel free. Try and draw that hip out. First, just starting with those hands right at our heart center. And then if you'd like, you can bring the arms up. You can open that tree. Find some place to take some balance. Anywhere those hands can go for the easiest places to keep them at your heart center, whatever works. And then from here, go ahead and bring those hands back to our heart centers. Take a couple more breaths here. If you need more challenge, close your eyes. And then as we release that right leg, we're going to cross it over the left. So crossing that leg over the other, making sure you've got both feet on the ground. You are going to have that right foot in front of the left, but we've got both feet solid on the ground because we're going to fold forward. So we're going to inhale up and exhale and fold forward. So coming into a standing forward fold, you just got one leg crossed over the other. And why we're doing that is to create a little bit of a stretch to the outside of the left leg. So that IT band muscles goes from the outside of that knee to the outside of the hip. So we're trying to lengthen those legs. If you can't get the hands down to the ground, you can take them to the shins. If you have a block or a pillow or even a book, you can use that to hold yourself there. But do your best where you can. And then from here, inhale to a flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms out to the side, head up, chest leads, up we come, all the way back to standing. Bringing the hands together and around, and then take it out. Release, shake it out. What to do to get ready for the other side. But also too, if you really need help with balance, don't be afraid to use something in your house that you can hold on to, because I would rather see you holding on and balancing on that one leg, especially since we have things here at home to get that strength in those joints and in that leg. All right, I'd rather see you hold on, because it's a lot different than keeping a foot and taking it out, because you're still using that weight still on that other leg. But when you remove that leg and all that balance goes onto that right leg, it's a lot different. As we get younger, yeah, a lot of things get different. We need to keep that stability in those joints, keep our balance, keep ourselves up on our feet and upright, correct? Yeah, so we gotta practice. All right, trying to draw that knee out, open up through that hip. And then here too, again, if you want, move the arms, go somewhere else, close your eyes if you need more challenge, just do what works for you in your tree. Sometimes finding a focal point, something that's not moving that you can focus in on, can help you keep that balance. Just find somewhere to be. And again, if you want, open up the tree, move the tree, whatever works, float around. More nice deep breaths. And then wherever those hands have come, again, bring them back to our heart center. And then go ahead and release that leg, crossing it over the other. So once again, once we know that we've crossed those legs over, make sure they're both on the ground. You've got some good stability. And then we're going to inhale up and exhale and fold forward. So folding over onto those legs, lengthening those hamstrings, lengthening those legs. Again, trying to aim for a stretch to the outside this time of the right leg. So the leg that's in the back, not the front leg, it's the back leg. It's going to be getting that stretch all the way through the side of it, hopefully. Inhale, exhale, take a couple more nice deep breaths right here. And then from here, once again, inhale to that flat back, so take that gaze out over those feet somewhere, just along from the hips to the head. And then exhale, release. Inhale, arms out to the side, head up, chest leads, flat, flat back. Up we come, bring the hands in, and then cross. All right, and next up, as we make our way down to the ground, make sure you have some space for you to make yourself way all the way down to the floor. So orient yourself however you need. Inhale up. Exhale, that nice flat back, fold forward. Into that forward fold. Shake the leg, wait if it feels good. Whatever feels good. And then just come out, hang here in your normal forward fold. Feeling the difference on the legs versus when they're crossed over. And then from here, hands down, walk or jump into a plank. Get to a nice strong plank, just one more time. Find a place to breathe. And then from here, slowly, chaturanga, lower down, lift up to your up dog. And then one more time to your downward facing dog. Couple more nice deep breaths right here. Inhale, exhale. And then coming down to your knees, feet together, and sit back into your child pose. So where we began this morning, back into our child pose. And then this time we're just going to lift the head up a little bit, and we're going to walk both of the arms over to the right. And then we're going to sink that head down. So now taking a stretch again through the outside of the left side of the body. Did this a little bit differently at the beginning, but then when you get there, settle back in, sit back, pull and release. And from here, picking that head up, again, walk the arms over to the left. Once you get to a good place, good stretch to the right side of the body now, sink that head back down. And from here again, lift the head up, walk the arms back, nose back to our normal child pose, reach long, extend. then from here, take the hands back beside your head very, very slowly. We're going to lift ourselves up all the way. And then from here, just going to cross those legs behind you and sit back. All right, so coming back. We're going to be coming down onto our back. A couple more things to do before we finish up with our Shavasana. So make sure you've got some room to let yourself down. So just going to slowly roll yourself down, slowly lower. Bring yourself all the way down. All right, and then next up, we will be making our way into our shoulder stand. If you do not want to come to a shoulder stand or can't get there, I'll give you another option. Your option would be to put the feet on the ground and lift yourself up into a bridge. But if you can, we're going to go ahead and bring those knees, feet up off the floor, knees in, and we're going to swing those knees toward that head. And as we do, we're going to lift those hips up, take the hands below, at the low back, below the hips, and just help bring those legs up. So from here, we're going to bring those legs up. We're going to try, if you're having a hard time getting those legs straight, you can start with a bent knee, with those knees a little bit over those hips, and then try and extend, and then try and get those feet over the hips. If you're good here, you can release those hands if you got a good stand. All right, so doing whatever works for you, finding that place. And again, if none of this works for you, you would stay down and lift the hips and come into a bridge. Just lift the hips and back up to the floor. So wherever you are, whatever works. Try and get those feet up right over those hips. Hold. A couple more breaths. One more, and then to come out of it, all we're going to do is bend those knees. We're just going to slowly roll ourselves down. And then the feet to the floor, hands down. And then from here, we're going to everyone come up into that bridge. So now everybody in the same place, come to a bridge, move the hips, squeeze the back side of the body. So just come and hold, breathe. And then from here, lower back down. All right, and then as we come into one more posture here, it's entirely up to you. Again, if you don't want to come here, you don't have to, as we're going to be making our way into plow, which a plow in a group setting is always a forbidden posture because it puts a lot of pressure, a lot of stress on the neck. It's when the legs are up and the legs come over your head as like my arms, which would be your legs. So it's entirely up to you. You can just bend your knees and lift yourself back up into your shoulder stand if you wish, but we're going to get to the same place. We're going to lift those legs up and then you're going to let those legs, again, drop overhead. And again, just depends on you. If you don't have good neck, would not recommend letting those legs drop over. I would keep yourself up in that shoulder stand. It's less compression on that spine. Or if you want to do one leg over and the other, but if you feel anything uncomfortable in that neck, would not recommend that you do this at all. So again, just find what works for you. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Again, it's a lot of compression on that neck. So if you feel it a lot in your neck, take somewhere else. You can get the toes over to the ground, great. If not, just come and hold wherever works for you. Keep the hands at the low back. You can release the hands down by your side. One more breath. And then to come out again, we're just going to bring those legs back up overhead, bend those knees, and then just roll yourself out. If you're holding a bridge, release yourself down. All right. And then from here, now we're going to take the legs all the way down, hands over your head, point the toes, and reach and stretch. And then from here, again, bring the hands down by your side, bring those knees in. You can also shake that head out side to side, shake those knees, side to side circles. Little rock, little roll in that lower body, that upper body too, maybe. All right, so whenever you are ready and done with that, we will make our way into our final posture for Shavasana, which is corpse pose. Corpse pose, traditional corpse pose is with those legs extended, arms extended by your side, palms up, and the legs relaxed. So wherever you'd like to go, wherever you can just take a minute to close your eyes. If you need a little bit of light removal, you can take a towel, put it over your eyes. find a place where you can just take a minute or two, slow down that body, that mind, and that breath. Bring yourself back to your intention where we began our practice. Your eyes closed and just continue to breathe. And slowly bring some awareness into that body. You can move those fingers, those toes, that head, moving those arms, legs, whatever's going to bring a little bit of thought, a little bit of movement into that mind and that body. When you're ready, rolling over onto the side of your choice. Anyone who's pregnant can go to their left. Everybody else choose a side, let a little bit of blood flow return back to that heart and that head. If you can't change it, change your attitude. And again, that quote is, if you can't change it, change your attitude. And that quote is from Maya Angelou. And then when you're ready, use your outside arm, push yourself back up, back into our seated position. Back up, cross those legs, come back to where we were. And just taking a moment to thank yourself for taking time for yourself today. And keep in mind, as change continues, as we ebb and flow, we will too. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me for my birthday week celebration. I'll see you guys hopefully next week. Namaste. I'm going to unmute you guys if you have any questions, anything to say.